is true for America. This is true for South Africa. And Israel seems to be no exception. Okay? Because humans, excuse me, hold on, Yaakov. Humans, inherent to their nature, is tribalism. All right? We are tribal creatures. Okay? We function as social animals that orient around hierarchy. All right? So if these individuals whom are foreign to us, right, are deciding to establish, say, a state, okay, I could see how, the people that have been existing there for generations could deem that to be a conflict of interest. All right? And nature then takes its course when they find themselves in disagreement with the state of Israel, right? And war will proceed to happen. Now, does that mean that Israel came to the land thinking we're going to kill every Arab in sight and expand? No, that does not mean that. But it does mean that there is, a pattern naturally associated with settlers from foreign places, okay? And when it comes to America, it started as 13 colonies and then became 50 states. And I guarantee you, right, you can mention several instances where Israel has gotten into an armed conflict with their enemies, much like the Americans did with the Native Americans, right? Much like the Australians did with the Aborigines, much like the Dutch did with the Zulu people of South Africa, okay? And gradually but surely, these settlers expanded their jurisdiction.
You're using the wrong analogy. We're not settlers in our own land.
The whole share was dumb. He basically said, I guarantee you, based on thoughts and feelings and vibes, but he can't do it from that.
Can't be a settler in your own land.
Well, no one's arguing that the Israelis are genocidal, so let's move on from that. That notion has been dispelled, but they've expanded, and there's nothing to argue about there.
Where is the expansion? Give me one instance in history where there was an expansion.
The Golan Heights, the 167 with Syria.
The Golan Heights when Israel's tanks were in Damascus, so they decided to turn around. The Golan Heights when Israel tried to give it back to Syria, they refused and then gave it to Damascus.
You're providing all of this context that's irrelevant to the question. It's about expansion, right? And Israel expanded on behalf of the conflict with the Golan Heights.
No, it's not. It's not irrelevant at all. Syria tried a war of annihilation. They said we will annihilate the state, not because they were afraid of being so different, simply because they were Jewish. They write that, they say that, they openly say that, Nasrallah still says that till today. Like, you're just doing a bunch of things.
And the land wasn't even Syrian. Let's go back a
little.
The land wasn't Syrian
land. And Israel tried to make a peace deal like it did with the Sinai, and Syria refused. So Israel didn't grab the land at all. It's completely untrue.
And this whole notion that we're settlers doesn't work. You're buying into a belief system that has, a very biased academic background.
Yo, Swifty Israel in the chat. I think he wants to come up. He would want to come up, actually. I think Simon wants to come up too. What happened to Simon? Bring Lonzo up too. Get some diversity.
You need to tap on Simon. You need to tap on your face if you and then accept invite when I sent you.
You bring the Haitian brother Lonzo. Let's get some diversity in here. I can't be the only.
His hand. I don't see his hand.
So I have something to speak to Malcolm and the elephant in the room. Malcolm don't hate Israel just because he's a black, and he's frustrated about the slavery in America, and he blames the Jews for that. This is the elephant in the room. Right, Malcolm?
Well, brother,
this is a Jew. You're black, and you hate the Jews. This is the elephant.
Before.
Listen, Swifty. The Arabs stand on no higher of a platform. They also sold our people into slavery.
What?
Sub-Saharan slave trade. Google it. It lasted like 1,000 years plus.
What do you want to say?
I've heard multiple times African American men spreading around that Jews were slave owners, that Jews, even one that said that Jews invented the N-word.
Of course.
We had to say to him, the N-word comes from Spanish, from Spain, from Europe, not from the Jews. And he was like, no, the Jews were slave owners, they did this, and they were in America, and we have to explain to him that it's a KK conspiracy theory to blame the Jews for slavery so white people don't get the blame. We have
So
to
Rishi, let me educate you about some history you might not know, right?
Black Americans hate the Jewish people. They don't care about Palestinians. They just hate the Jewish and Israeli people.
No, Swifty,
If you care about people, what with the children
Hold on, guys, let's work on one mic. Hold on.
What is with Bashar al-Assad? What is with Bashar al-Assad? Huh? Answer me. What is with Bashar al-Assad?
I don't know
who these people.
I don't know who Bashar.
Okay, hold on. One mic. Swifty, talk for minutes and then hold on. Guys, Swifty, talk for 2 minutes, and Malcolm will respond if anyone else wants to get in.
Just one thing. Because the black Africans obsessed with the Jews, they just care about what the Jewish people are doing. But if Bashar al-Assad killing 1 million people, they don't care. Because the Jews are not involved. Thank you. You can continue.
But also there's a lot of African,
I thought it was a
a lot of African Christians that are praying for Israel and standing with Israel. It's only African people in the West that have been told by Palestinian Arabs that have hijacked. First of all, they hijacked Black Lives Matter. Let's get that straight too. Arab Muslims went to Black Lives Matter and said, oh, the IDF is the same as the American police. You need to side with us. We are the same. Look at Curry Bush from the squad. She's recently been voting out of the U.S. Congressman. She has been told by Rashida Tlaib that black people in America are have the same mistreatment as Palestinians, and they are brothers in the struggle. Like, this is a very African-American thing that has been now imported to the UK as well and to the rest of Europe. But real African Christians under the Sahara, they pray for Israel. They stand with Israel.
All right, so
better respond, you, please, Malcolm.
No doubt. I just want to respond to both Swifty and Rishi, okay? Maybe y'all don't know something about human nature. I'm going to recommend a book to y'all. It's by Robert Greene. It's called The Rules of Human Nature. I'm not a psychologist, so I can't recommend a bunch of books to y'all, but this is my reference point, okay? So what I've learned from him is that inherent to human nature is narcissism, all right? So we tend to like people who reflect what we see in ourselves, you know? If he looks like us, we'll gravitate towards him. If he eats like us, we'll gravitate towards him, etc. So with that being said, right, I'm not going to take you down a crash course of Black history, but I will mention one instance. Matter of fact, I'm sorry. I will take you down a crash course. I got 2 minutes, right? Okay, I'll be brief. So, very broadly speaking,
what the hell does this have to do with Israel and Hezbollah?
I mean, weren't we talking about black people?
He doesn't know who Bashar al-Assad is. How do you know he's been talking about?
Yeah, I don't know why.
In any case, can we not hit the hard left? I did have a few.
About the black
I do want to reclaim my time. Why am I being disrespected? Can we mute his mic? Is that possible?
Because I don't respect you.
I love his
like you're an ass.
I love some of the things he says. You can take little tidbits out of each and every little thing.
I come on this app, Jeff, just for your respect. But in any case, can we mute his mic?
That could probably will.
No, because you're not.
And that's time. Thank you. Our next person.
All right, no problem. Shit, you can't handle the speaker. Why not?
Just remember, Malcolm, the Jews control the media.
Okay, Alonzo.
Hey, what's up, Yaakov? What up, Daniel?
Okay, you want to speak?
Wait, so Yaakov, you co-signing that?
Do you have anything further to add?
You're just bloviating-ish.
I'm just trying to understand the point. Just get to the point. If you can get to the point.
He doesn't have a point. He just likes the sound of his voice.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
And he wants to talk about the Black American struggle, and he's not even a foundational black.
I get under your skin, Jeff.
Talk about ancient slavery.
Type of black.
Stop colonizing other people's pain.
Look, Swifty came in the room, he came on stage, and he said, look, we know what the real deal is here, okay? We know you're black, all right? And because you're black, the black Americans in America, okay, they basically
Malcolm,
hate the
are you denying being
and
black?
I wanted to address that, okay? I wanted to address that. And we afforded Swifty over the 2 minutes that he was...
Okay, do you feel that you've addressed it now, Malcolm?
No, I don't feel I've addressed it. I felt I was interrupted, disrespected, and you were inconsistent about your moderation.
Okay, so then go.
The word Lebanon literally means white.
I'd like to talk a little bit about how you moderators owe Malcolm reparations.
So Malcolm, you want to get some respect. I'll respect your stupid comment by showing you why you were stupid. What you did was cause an hypothesis.
Man, suck my dick. I'm leaving.
Leave. What you did was cause an hypothesis. You think that all people are evil. That's a hypothesis. You have to bring facts from history. You haven't. You can't because you don't know them. So if you want to talk about reality and see if we can substantiate your hypothesis, you're going to have to bring facts. And once we get the facts, Malcolm.
Yep. So I just wanted to correct Rishi. Rishi, when you said you said a few things that I disagree with, but when you said certain words were made by Spanish people, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you were today's year old when you found out that there were many influential Jewish persons in Spain, right? That did horrible things to black people. In Portugal, same thing, right? All over the world, historically. Say it again.
Muslims did those horrible things to black people.
No.
Muslims
That's
took over
no,
control Spain, Portugal, and
right. So that's
no.
So again,
no.
enslaving black people never saw. But this is also the reason there are people, Middle Eastern people in our country saying, why are we not talking about this? Why are we talking about this?
Rishi, let him talk and then you can respond. Let's not interrupt.
Kick him out,
okay? No, I'm not going to kick him out. Okay, let him talk, and then.
No, because Black Americans want to make it about America and not about Israel.
Rishi, use your ears, listen, let him talk, and then you can respond. Okay?
Yep. So you were correct about Portugal having Arabs, right, for a long time, right? And then there were battles, and Catholics, many Jewish persons, and others fought back, and about 1290 or something around there, that population of quote unquote Muslims started to diminish greatly, right? However, many Jewish persons lived and succeeded and thrived within those communities, even during the Arab times, right? So when you talk about folks like Jaug and Calvez Zarco in 1441, yeah, Sephardic Jewish man, right, and others, right, that sailed to West Africa and brought back my people. So yeah, in the Trans-Saharan.
Wow, they bought his people. It's his people.
Arabs had a crazy monopoly.
Oh, look out, it's big.
And then when you talk about the transatlantic slave trade, the first
Big Rasta!
European, right, with influence, to take my people from West Africa. And bring them to Europe was
they ain't your people, cause you ain't a king.
Right, so
we was king.
Anyway,
anyways,
yeah, I think black people really, both groups had, at those times, did harmful things to my people, right? So
my people.
It's not like they're taking one side
or
the other based off solely
Nigga, you a king.
We both know that.
Wigga, you a king. Wigga, you king.
Financier.
Wigga was king. We was kings. My peoples.
And nowadays, long.
And why is this even
Hold on, Rishi.
in this room?
Hold on. Someone else brought it up.
Black people are anti-Semitic.
Yeah, someone else brought it up.
That we discussed why Black Americans on Clubhouse believe in conspiracy theories about Jews. And that is a real problem. The black community in America has been misled by Muslims infiltrating your community. Ilhan Omar.
Can you please respect the queue? Daniel, trying to cover. Daniel?
would like to pivot back at some point to the room.
I just respond to Mr. Alonso. In fact, the biggest slave traders that brought the slaves to the white American people from Africa were Arabs, Muslims, by the way. They caught them inside Africa and then sent them to the Americans who took them to America. But the black people never say that. They hide it, or maybe they don't know it. So here's the deal. The Palestinians, who are the Arabs, their grandfathers were trading slaves. This is a fact. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, look, listen, nobody.
Also, the theories espoused by Louis Farrakhan and David Duke have been mostly debunked. So a lot of this is just absolute bullshit. Just putting that out there.
I mean, should we just deal with facts? Should we just deal with facts in the room? Lonzo doesn't care about which great grandfather from 14 centuries ago did what. He just hates Jews today.
That's not true. Yeah,
That's very true.
You saw that.
Election America.
That would mean I also hate like some of my family members, and that's definitely not accurate, right? So,
Do you have same hatred towards Arab Muslims?
Wait, Lonzo, that doesn't prove anything. I fully believe you hate your family members.
oh yeah,
I'm not sure it proves
yeah. I don't know if you've been in some of my rooms or you heard me speak. I don't hate anybody, bro.
I heard you speak and I heard your hate and you admitted to it. But you could try to deflect now and try to say something that sounds like
Daniel's been in many of my rooms. Jacob has been in many of my rooms. You could ask them. I don't hate it.
So, Lonzo, when you come across Arab Muslims, do you immediately hold them accountable for enslaving Africa for 1400 years the way that you blame Jews, a KKK, Louis Farrakhan conspiracy theory? Because I feel like the Black American community doesn't need to do this to the Jewish community. The Jewish community fought in America with black people for black rights. Where were the Muslims fighting for black rights? The Muslims have never fought for black rights.
Yes, that's not accurate. I mean, look, listen. This isn't, I hope this isn't like, Islam versus Christianity versus Judaism, right? That's not what this is, right? I think that's a bad precedent to pin people against each other, right? I'm against that, at all costs, right? I feel like, if we just stick to the arguments, we'll have better conversations. Those days of, people like saying, hey, no, I hate you because you're Arab, I hate you because you're Jewish, Christian, that's stupid. That shit is fucking prehistoric. We gotta get past that. We gotta get past that.
There is no such thing as hatred towards Arab. Arab Muslim is the dominant cultural force right now in the world. So of course, if you're very popular, of course you have people that don't want to go along with the trend. That's not hatred. Rejecting something that's popular, that's trendy, that's being promoted, and you're not following along with it, that's not hatred. Muslim Arabs don't experience any hatred, especially in the West. They get everything handed over. Everything is handed over in their hands. And especially when you're a Black American community, the Black American community, they need to stand up against the Arabization of your own community. Look at what's happening in Minnesota. It's becoming Somalia there.
First of all, I love Somalis, right? So again, shout out to Somalia, right? Shout out to Minnesota. Shout out to all the diversity in Minnesota. It's a beautiful thing. It's not a bad thing, right? Just because somebody's Muslim doesn't impact my life at all, right? Somebody's Jewish doesn't impact my life.
But this is only a statement you can do when you're not surrounded by it.
Arguments, bro. These are people they had crusades
this
about
American-centric.
This is American-centric. We gotta get past that, bro.
If you're living in something where Muslims are the majority, then you cannot say, oh, Muslims have impact on my life. People in the Middle East that are not Muslim don't have the privilege of thinking, oh, Muslim is not a problem because they're not really around me. This is a very
you think Muslims are a problem because they're Muslim?
Rishi, allow him to have his time.
Yeah, I think, enough of us have spent enough time with Lonzo to know that he resembles an anti-Semite far more than a duck. But, I mean, to the extent that the mods have allowed him to go totally off topic, Lonzo, what date do you claim the Atlantic slave trade started?
1441.
Okay, and who was it started by in terms of nations?
Portugal. Look up João Gonçalves Zarco.
Well, put that in the side chat. I'd love to look it up.
Got
But by most scholars, the Atlantic slave trade didn't actually start until actually the 15th century. But you may be quoting like someone who had a slave, but certainly it was not an institutional. Well, historians don't credit it to begin until the 16th century. So now that being said, you do feel the need to blame Jews, and Portugal and Spain had already had their Inquisition, and the Jews were not doing anything on behalf of those countries. So you're pointing to an outlier before the period that historians read it as being part of the Atlantic slave trade, because you love the Jews.
No, I'm talking about the first.
Or is it because you?
I'm talking about the beginning.
Or is it because you? I'm sorry. Just because, or is it because you have contempt for truth?
Nah, Jeff, I'm talking about the first. Normally, like when we're having a conversation about starting, speak about the beginning.
So you're saying this person who you identify as Sephardic Jewish was the first person in history to take a slave in West Africa?
Facts.
But why is that relevant? Slavery has happened for millennia. Like,
look,
what is it prove?
The guy existed, but
yeah, I'm only talking about the first. That's all.
Yeah, it's just
But the first one, you're creating a class. Look, he didn't create the first West African slave. The other West Africans did.
If you want to look up Mali's slave trade, you'll see it's mostly Muslims that did that one.
When we talk about a first, we talk about the first of something, not the first and then call that the first. It's ridiculous. Second of all,
I give you an
your virtue of trying to say that was prehistoric and then saying the first 300 years before the slave trade actually started and then claiming that's the first because you're just reading facts is very hypocritical.
Nah, bro, it's not. If you look in any argument when we speak about what the Arabs did, we want to know, how far back it goes. We want to know kind of like the first time, right? That's important to an argument. And try to get it.
That's everything I said. No.
And this is prehistoric.
Lonzo, is it safe to say this guy you're mentioning, which I have looked up, he was Jewish. He wasn't doing it on behalf of the Jewish people. He's an outlier at best. He's just a guy. It wasn't like an industry. The whole thing is reprehensible. We all agree to that. But it's not like it. Then he had 12 votes, and he had 15 votes, and he had 40 votes. It was an event, and everyone had their fingers in the pie. Is that safe to say?
Definitely everybody had fingers in the pie. But, I think I came up when Richie said, he basically tried to make it like, they had no involvement. And I said, no, that's not accurate. When we talk about
let's just be clear, not running it, not like, look, everyone.
No,
You got us! Busted!
KKK conspiracy theory to blame Jews for slavery because the KKK didn't want white people to get the blame. And when Alonso said that he's not concerned with Muslims because they're not around him, this and that, but why are you so concerned about Jews then?
I never said that because they're not around me. Listen. Look,
that's what you meant. You're not concerned with Muslims. You're not interacting with them.
I typically say what I mean, right? So, no, that's not what I meant, bro. Look, I have everybody around me. I have many Jewish friends and family members around me. I have many Muslim friends and family members around me. Many Christian friends and family members around me, right? Hindu, same thing. I'm literally like, I just go with what's going on, right? So, I have rooms and conversations about what's happening, right? Whether.
And do you have Jewish friends?
Hold on a second. Like I said, we don't need to prove that Lonzo has a special animus for Jews. We all know him. But Lonzo, just to clarify, since your article didn't mention anything about his slave activities, tell us about his slave activities. What exactly Do you think he did? And what about that has actually been confirmed as historians?
You can ask Yaakov, he can probably break it down better. But, ultimately,
I'm not an expert. I looked up a claim that he had, and there's a Jewish guy that ran a boat of slaves.
Probably a convert.
Yaakov, respectfully, I'm asking him because he's making the claim.
Yes, I know. I'm just telling you, I'm not an expert
But
in this area.
don't. No, let Lonzo explain.
Yaakov, he's the conspiracy theory expert. Don't get involved.
This is the summary
That's
of
what
what
I'm
we
trying
have
to
here.
say.
Here's a summary of how Swifty made the claim that this idea to blame the Jews is a KKK conspiracy. Lonzo brought in an outlier case that he cannot back up. He doesn't know the facts. The guy was a noble, so he probably was a Catholic convert, and we don't even know if he ever owned slaves that sailed a ship for Portugal. And that's his proof that this, either this guy is being tokenized by the KKK or it has nothing to do with the KKK claim. But you have not argued against what Rishi claimed.
Bro, there's statues about this guy all over Europe. I mean,
Okay, but
look
tell us exactly what he did.
That's what his significance was, bro.
Lonzo, tell us how he was the first transatlantic slaver. Explain to us what that journey was, where it came from, where it went, how many slaves it contained. Give us the stats that prove your point.
Look, listen. Just look up the name, and then it's an easy fact. I mean, everybody.
I know the answer to my question.
Okay.
I know the answer to the question, but apparently you don't want to answer it.
Look, I've had rooms at this ad nauseum. Listen, everybody.
Well, good. Then you should be an expert enough to be able to answer my very basic questions that would establish him as the first transatlantic slaver.
I got you, Jeff. Everybody, just look up Jao, J-O-A-O.
Oh, we did.
Gun Calvest. No,
We did. If you can't substantiate your claim, why are we giving you oxygen?
No, I'm just saying for the other people.
You are insulting everybody's intelligence to think that we didn't look it up and we don't know your claim is bullshit.
I'm saying there's new people that came in the room since I came up. I'm saying,
and guess what? Guess what? There's no reason we're going to let you gaslight them since you won't substantiate your claim. So I'll give you one last chance to go ahead and tell us where this first slaver activity happened, or you can go back down to the audience and hang out where you're born.
I got you. Look. I just came up with my friends Daniel and Yaakov, man. Great conversation, though. As per usual, guys. I respect them. They're great guys. That's it.
So great conversation is you throwing out a bunch of things you can't substantiate. That pretty much sums up.
And for the record, the only allegation that I was able to find is that perhaps he had some slaves in the Canary Islands or in Madeira, which is neither transatlantic nor does it make him the founder of the Atlantic slave trade. But that's fine. He's a Jew, so Alonzo wants to point.
No. And what I was trying to say was, it says that he's likely Jewish. It didn't say he was. It was likely.
He's more likely a new Christian given the time frame and the fact
that. Yeah, I was say that in 1418, if he was a noble in Portugal, he was certainly a convert. I don't know if he converted or his father converted, but he definitely did.
He was probably.
They wouldn't let the new Christians be nobles.
Yeah, they did. They purposely.
Not that quickly.
Oh, in that period, they would.
Yeah, they would have.
Wait, you could be born Jewish and become a noble by converting?
Yeah, that was the enticement. If you convert, we'll bring you into the upper. Yeah.
Well, prior to the 15th century, Jews may have been nobles. So there's nothing to say he became a noble by virtue of converting. He may have been a noble as a Jew and converted in order to.
I was just asking
by 1418, and
I was answering the question.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
In Portugal, and had he not converted, he would not have been able to act as a noble anymore.
I give you an advice. Every time that you argue with black Americans who hate Israel and support the Palestinians, tell them this. Our brothers, the Ethiopians, are fighting right now against the Palestinians. And they get driving crazy. They don't know how to answer that. They cannot believe that black people are fighting right now against the Palestinians.
By the way, Jews.
So I would like to add Ethiopian Jews fighting in Gaza right now against the Palestinians.
Just to
add, the black people, American people don't know that.
Yeah, but that's not the point right here. Lonzo just doesn't like Jews. There's nothing to do with other.
Yeah, I know. You can raise it in there.
All I want to say
he does.
is if
Wait,
source
can I add
uses
to Swifty's
Farrakhan,
point?
David Duke, or
Please
Adolf
add-
Hitler, I think we should accept it.
May I please add to Swifty's point, because I can maybe provide a little bit of an American context. I love his Israeli perspective. I'm Israel Chai, but I'm trying to maybe help him a bit more so that it clarifies for others.
Wait, I thought you were gonna say something after that.
Okay, so there is a very good educational institution in America that very much educates people about this conspiracy theory. It is 100% a Ku Klux Klan conspiracy theory, and it is promoted by Black Lives Matter, or specifically ADOS, African Descendants of Slavery. This talks about this issue in extensive depth. The Museum of the Southern Jewish Experience, it's in Louisiana. I posted a link in the chat. I've actually emailed back and forth with the founders, because when it first came out, I was like, this is so cool. I grew up in the South, so, a lot of African Americans harbor wild conspiracy theories about Jews, and just due to economic status, they very rarely come to the surface. And this is a museum which exposes a lot of it and tries to help educate them.
Thank you.
I hope I didn't deplete the room of oxygen. If so, I hope I just thought that back and forth.
Heading in that direction anyway, don't worry about it.
Arguments about ancient history, especially American history, are easily addressed in Washington, D.C. It's just most of the time they're talking about American history, but they're trying to use these talking points that they get. And so they need more and more specific museums to help them. And so that's why they built this museum in Louisiana.
I know I sent a telegram as a follow-up to the Fourth Geneva Convention. If you care to read it. I don't know if you're still in the room.
What is this, man?
The last conversation I was engaged in before I started working, I tuned in and out, was arguing with Brent over his settlement project. And he wanted to use the argument that disputed territories is not explicit in the Fourth Geneva Convention. I wasn't 100% sure. I went through it and honestly cheated with AI. It's not explicitly mentioned, but it is explicitly discussed by multiple international lawyers afterwards that it is not covered under what is mentioned, and that was the way I depicted it, of occupation. So by the definition of occupation, this doesn't fit, and the Geneva Convention really doesn't deal with occupied territories per se. It does, but that's not its focus. The focus is on war zones. So the fact that it misses a classification and it doesn't fit into the other classification is still very much justifies my point that it's put it into writing as a follow-up.
What are the make awareness great again, Telegram?
No, I could put it there. I did it like directly to the end. I can copy it. I don't know how many people were in the room when we get the content.
Apparently Hamas has left.
And I pretty much summarized it for you, Matt. I know to the point.
Apparently Hamas has left Cairo.
Jerusalem Post is reporting that they have turned down the latest ceasefire.
Yeah. They want any agreement must include permanent ceasefire, full withdrawal from the strip, the return of the displaced to their homes, restoration of the strip, and a serious prisoner deal. Seeing as Israel wants permanent forces along the Philadelphia route and certain places along the division lines, that's just not going to fly.
And after the Gilad Shalit deal, I don't think any serious prisoners are going to get released. No,
the most important objective of the war was the dismantling of Hamas. So that anything that leaves them with their military control is a no-go.
It would be 2014 all over again.
Or that augments their numbers. Gadiev destroyed 270 targets in Lebanon. I'm going to update a bit, so I'll be back shortly.
I mean, 1 in 70, you said?
No, 270.
Oh, total of 270. Okay, that's a much better number.
And they were like rocket launcher, right?
I don't know, like I just know 270 targets. No, we had like 40 targets before, like different location, I think. And in them could be several. I don't know the exact number of launchers, just not different location.
Meanwhile, Hezbollah is claiming the hit bases that don't even exist.
Yeah.
Which one?
I don't even remember. It was like these don't
Matt,
exist.
they bombed them out of existence forever.
Wow,
That's incredible.
future.
I think my favorite thing he said was, I forgot the number, but he said it was more successful than planned. We only planned on 200. We shot off 240. It was like the rest accidentally shot off. Like, how that works.
I love this article from Daily Brian. Hezbollah preemptively loses war with Israel.
That's a good one. Thanks for your text, Mr. Rabbi.
Absolutely.
I will say fully support Israel's actions against Hezbollah, and I would do the same for self-defense purposes.
So Hamas rejects the ceasefire deal.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Not just that they came back, but also
Yeah, it just came over the wire like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. Well, kind of makes sense following Hezbollah attack in the morning. They also said that since there's a negotiation is going nowhere, they decided to attack today. They didn't wait those few hours. We'll do it tomorrow. So that was kind of like the clue that it's happening.
Daniel, let's make a gamble. What do you think? Hezbollah will attack tonight?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so also.
So, no gamble?
Maybe someone else wants to, maybe they will attack. I don't know.
Anyone rich and says that they want to attack?
That's gonna be on how many rockets.
One reason I think these types of, incursions are imperative is not just it's because you have to kill the ideology. These people were celebrating in the streets on October 7th. They will celebrate every single October 7th if they can try to make that happen. The more that the oxygen is taken away from them, the better it is. They cannot continue to celebrate October 7th. They cannot continue to demonstrate the way they have. It is not just a problem of Israel. It is a problem of the West as well. They do not do demonstrations in Japan because they don't allow them. But, you know, even in Switzerland or whatever, they have huge problems with this protest culture.
Look, they will always say, hey, the Jews is something in their religion. But we can make them be afraid to do actions against Israel, that's all. They should fear. But the wish to kill the Jewish people and destroy Israel will always be in their heads.
This wish, I think there was an earlier speaker here, I forgot his name, but he was discussing that the Arab countries typically only do well in the Olympics in like violent sports, not like gymnastics like the Japanese, where you have to be very flexible, you know? And yeah, there's something in their whole culture. I mean, I think I've been corrected many times about, you know, Christian Arabs are good people, atheist Arabs are good people. I am very suspicious. Coming from, you know, my parents are from India, you see hundreds of millions of Muslims in India. I generally don't talk about Muslims because Muslims are very obvious, like that's theological stuff, and it's obvious that Muslims do that. But many people, I think, don't understand that it's also Arab culture.
Yeah, that was me. I didn't say violent sports, I meant individual sports.
Oh, I see. So they're not bad at teamwork. Interesting.
Yeah, we seem to prefer clan over nation.
Yeah, so when this news broke out of October 7th, the only thing popping in my head was like, this is like Lawrence of Arabia, what the heck is happening? It was, but then the Arabs themselves, when they see me asking that in those terms, they think that they're succeeding because they think they're making progress. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I feel like Lawrence of Arabia the more I interact with Arabs because, like, I feel like I'm trying to solve very common sociological problems, but you have to learn Arabic, and I have no desire to do that.
Well, I know. I mean, I'm a very proud Arab, and I don't see October 7th as a success at all, and most Arabs that I know and speak to don't either.
Well, that's good. You should introduce me to some of your friends. I don't think I'll have too much trouble learning Arabic. I like learning languages for fun, but for business, Arabic is very important. Like Dubai, I have a lot of relatives in Dubai. A whole lot of Indians have relatives in Dubai these days just because of, you know, it's, yeah, but go on.
Yeah, I just, there seems to be this idea that, there's some fair criticism, but there's this narrative that pops up every once in a while that says, that leans towards this idea that Arabs are supportive of what's going on. It's not actually, this monolithic view is not actually accurate and it's counterproductive. And you know, I would prefer the criticisms remain, but they take a different form, which is more about introspection and the suggestion that Arab nations, Arab people introspect versus this idea that, the entire Arab world supports what's going on, or this monolithic kind of view. And I think it leads to more interesting conversations. It's closer to the truth.
In Washington, D.C., I even get along with Saudis because Saudis, they always say, we want to learn how to modernize from Americans. It's very fascinating. Like Saudis going in bars and drinking and stuff like that. You see that in Washington, D.C. I mean, like the Saudis are really eager to do that, but that's what the Abraham Accords were all about.
Well,
they really...
Well, they have a compelling requirement to do it.
Yeah, if we separate, let's talk about the Saudi regime. They were one of the first.
The Saudis were not part of the Abraham Accords.
Yeah,
Speaking
of the Saudi regime, so I'm not talking about the Saudi people right this second, although I spent many years living in Saudi Arabia. The Saudi regime was one of the first to blame Israel for October 7th. They were really quick to put out that press release.
Yeah, but from the other side, they are cooperating with Israel underground.
Well, the problem is the ruling family has to appease the people, their people, so they have to kind of say those things even though they don't need it.
That's a very well. Yeah, that's accurate. Well, I think it's accurate. It's leaning towards accuracy in my view. There is probably quite a few in the ruling family that want that statement to go out. It's also equally dangerous. I mean, forget about being indifferent to bad actions. This is actually overtly supporting them. Which,
more in September, they actually floated a trial balloon that was the details of which would make your head spin. I don't know if you were familiar with that. They said the proposal, this is before October 7th in September, the proposal was they would become the custodians of the Temple Mount. They would be the custodians of Judea and Samaria subject to final negotiations. They would reconstitute the PA because they were kind of annoyed that 20% of their budget was going to pay for SLA. So they were going to fund it fully and put in sort of work with other countries to create a technocratic regime, not based on loyalists, but people that could build a country. And they were going to fund it, to whatever that means, and provide paramilitary police forces in there. And it's a kind of interesting concept, but unfortunately, October 7th happened, and that whole sort of, let's make peace with Israel, join the Abraham Accords, and do all of that stuff. Who knows if they would have done that, but that was their vision. That's where they wanted to head.
Yeah, of course, the worst thing that happened on October 7th is obviously the people who were killed and injured and terrorized. But the second thing that happened was it pushed back what was supposed to be a great alliance, partnership, or talks with Saudi Arabia with Israel, which of course got delayed because,
including a way to get hook the Mediterranean up with Saudi Arabia. I mean, there were huge designs. I mean, huge ideas.
Top shit off, but that would fall in line. That's just my theory.
By anti-Arab views. So, I mean, I became so cynical, but I mean, I'm perhaps more willing to engage, which I think is very important for those Abraham Accords.
Well, that makes me happy to just know that I'm just one of the majority.
Yeah, I've dealt a lot with Algerians because I speak French, and even the French will say that your French is come to the point with your pronunciation that they will start to ask, "Vous êtes arabe?" Like, are you Arab? Because I look Arab, and then they will first of all say like, "Oh yeah, are you Arab?" Because you're getting too far into French. So now I kind of pull back on French a bit, but I mean, you should know at least a few Arabs that you should trust, right? Or one should in general.
Yeah, the question I try and figure out is where are we headed? I don't. I don't know. It's it's very unclear at the moment.
Who's we?
Arab people. Where are we headed? So it's an interesting topic, but I've never been more unclear on it than today.
Lebanese often know
Buddy, I
French.
have to go for a few minutes, can I imagine? Yes, no.
You can mod Andrew.
I don't have mod skills. I don't endorse my
Yeah,
own
don't mod me.
This room is running out of steam. I wonder if it's. And I don't want to upload it, but I have to go do something.
I think your judgment is pretty good about ending rooms. If you want to end it, I think it's good.
Okay, Fadi, thanks for everything. David,
All right, take care.
Just to take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
People, if they're misbehaved, they're going to fuck around anyway.
We need testosterone serum tests on all people in. That's the future. We're just going to make sure that we're going to use biomarkers to filter who can be a part of a decision-making space or not. I posted something for you, JR. So I know this might offend you a little, but as far as discipline and control is concerned, we are very concerned with your testosterone.
You're not even part of any government agency.
We don't need to be a part of an agency. We need to make sure they're ready.
You drive moped around to run, so you take public transportation. Come on. You have
Wait, walking around in Toronto is supposed to be having no skin in the game?
Of course,
Arnold Schwarzenegger was on a bicycle like a few days ago.
Well, what part of
Toronto? Do you not, like, what do you think we are?
Hey, what part of government agency are you in right now? Like, are you sanitation?
I am in the agency that regulates JRs.
You're not even saying anything here, but at least I made sense. Between me and Afro,
I just want to read something. I want to read something. I'm going to play such a now.
No,
We found that greater 3 months response inhibition, but was unassociated with risky decision making. Whereas greater 3 month cumulative exposure to cortisol predicted less risky decision making, but was unassociated with response inhibition.
I gave a solution, you were not even able to give even one.
So a solution with AI regulation
and now you're trying to derail everything.
Use
Okay.
AI
Between me and Afro, between me and Afro, you were able to. He's also coming with a solution. I mean, look, I'm saying the government. There's no solution. The government's talking about. I'm saying the government. Different good people in the government. They can strong and companies. Okay. Good 3-letter word. Now, he is defining what a good 3-letter word looks like. Yeah, what's the biomarker of the guy who's running around? What is it? Like something?
Yeah, so we are going to have in the 13th century still. You haven't come to the 21st century.
Yeah, Kim Jong Un, whatever his name is, he is a biomarker.
Are you Kim Jong Un? Are you Kim Jong Un?
I'm not, but
why are you going all over the place? Stick to the problem.
You can't control every human being on this planet.
It's not hard.
How How? You give me the solution.
I told you, biomarkers, when it is health, specifically frontal health, that's all we care about. You don't need to obsess and control over what you experience. You just need to obsess over what you experience.
Do you know how masses work? Can you control
Yes,
all the
a
pressure?
mass,
All
a
seven
mass
billion
is a
people on the planet?
collection of individual units.
I mean, even if you control the head of a leader, right? His frontal lobe, right?
This is not how you
The masses
when you
will
use that
behave.
metaphor.
If they
Number
want to
two,
go
that's not how
in one, hang on. If they want to go in one direction, they will go in that direction. Okay? There is nothing the fucking leader can lead.
Well,
That's how you have to test it. Yeah, that's just 20th society.
When there's a strong leader, it can't be done. Look at Baghdad, he tried. You can't really held together by that. Not just the leader. Well, material reality is less to do with individual decisions. Not going to read off upfront deprivation of an ecological and environmental. You're not supportive. You're not loving Trump or loving this agenda. All different truth. It looks like you hero worship was here. It's the outsiders. That's what they want. They are bringing. You see that RFK now, all these big Democrats. RFK tweeted a couple hours ago that there will be more Democrats. It's going to be mindful. The next one will be announced as $1,500 stock. That tells me probably Cornel West, rumored to be making extreme, like calling a bitch. But there could be some trolling also. That's my favorite. What's that? Bob. Did you see the politics? This guy, Dan Jones. The fucking you was 6 months ago, and it's back in the news because the fucking you approached Dan Jones a few days ago. He says, look, I want to tell you what happened. Yeah, my family got death threats, this and that. And let me explain to you why they did. Dan Jones is like, look, man, I want to call your wife and apologize. And they use this person's cell phone. And they swatch it like that. This is a great movie. Clip here from last week. JR, do you know what he's like?
No, but I really want to jump on this topic. Really, to be honest with you, for me, it doesn't really matter who comes or Trump. My life is never going to change. So is opinion or any of us, right? So you have a system. Wait, it's not really going to change racism there. You have it's not just the president is all this politics that is right. Come on, there's a whole list of things that needs to be in place so that something will actually move from your side. And economic too, I mean, it takes a lot of time. The multiplier effect is one of the great things. So any changes they made, it takes about 18 months, 15. I don't know how many every month it takes to have a real bottom line. So for me, I really don't care, man. It's a binary choice. I'm not even playing this game anymore. This is table tennis. Yeah, I mean, I'll just go with. I'm independent at this point. I'm not even.
Moderators, put me in the queue.
I guess so.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so this whole thing.
JR, let him go. Shut up.
Yeah, go, Dave.
No, I mean, you can finish if you want. Go ahead.
He'll never. No. He's not gonna. There's nothing he can do. Like a court gesture, right? Just go all over space. That's what I feel like.
Well, when Bush was, hang on, when Bush was there, we had the same problems. When Obama came into, same problem. US also had problems. So like, come on. It's a never-ending story, man. You can just go one way or the other, but you can always fine-tune the process. This whole
You don't even know what the process is here. Just stop it.
This whole politicizing, this guy. I guess all the policies are about fine-tuning and readjusting.
No shit, Sherlock. Do we need to get you a PhD?
No, I don't. But like, I don't know why people take things so personally. Yeah, I'll agree. I mean, if Trump wants to be a Trump supporter, I don't have a problem. I'm not going to defend him.
The only rational person is Trump supporting right now.
Yeah, sure. I mean, even if I can vote like Trump, even in that case, nothing is going to change for me.
Can you send a vote in by mail, like overseas? I heard the Democrats are allowing votes by mail.
There's a mail-in ballot here.
JR, so where do you fall in terms of economics? Are you more socialist, communist, or more capitalist?
I'm a capitalist, but I'm not a crony capitalist. But at the same time, I don't want to be extreme capitalist. So there has to be some guardrails, governments in place.
So you're capitalist with some socialistic tendencies.
Sorry, you were drinking. I don't want to see. Can you guys hear me? I don't want to see people who are let's say someone. He has to upskill himself when he's got a kid and his brain is.
Let me
his mind has gone slower.
JR began this room when I came in, or at least I don't know what the original was, but the first
Stop taking your topic. You asked me a question, man.
JR was
let him
concerned
respond.
about the
Stop
industry
Stop
basically
Stop
getting rid of people at the age of 40, and so they have to find a new job.
The fuck you had to say that.
And so JR is looking at the industry developments. Where's the demon coming out?
I didn't even say that. He's just lying.
It's the truth serum of health. It's spiritual. It's a chakra.
Did you hear what I just said, Adrian? Or
No.
okay, all I said was I don't like people when I don't believe in crony capitalism. I also don't believe in destruction, which is going to shock the system and which is going to quickly displace people. And a lot of people who are in middle ages, middle-aged people, middle-aged people in their 40s or what have you, if they have to upskill or if they can't find work, that creates a lot of underclass people, and that's why you have a Trump phenomenon. And they go join that because they see, oh, the immigrants are taking over the job and this and that, but they don't understand that
I agree with you, but I think your demographics are off, meaning that it's not as many 40-year-olds as there are 50, 60, 70-year-olds that are MAGA. I mean, the evangelical Christian white vote in this country is going Trump. And, even with black youths, they're beginning to see their democratic communist overlords as being the pilferers of their society. I mean, Barack Hussein Obama ran a campaign against Bobby Rush, who is an ultra-black nationalist, and he lost because that's the way populations vote. They vote for the alpha. And so if you're the liberator of your people, well, and you're an actual honest person, and, so you're going to win that vote. But the point is, I just think your numbers could be wrong, but I would just say vote Trump and go to the gym, Fatty.
I'm going to vote for Trump.
That's the perfect thing to say to JR. That's the best thing you could say.
Yeah, because the gym will help,
increase the testosterone.
Yeah, testosterone production is desperately needed. Vote Trump and Kennedy and go to the gym, Fatty.
Yeah, because when you go to the gym, what happens is eventually the cortisol is released by serotonin, and then 6 months later, you have that oxytocin, which is.
You will see your penis emerge from your clitoris like a flower, like a bud coming out of a succulent.
JR, are you taking notes? Oh my god. No, I don't know. This guy's like an angel that came down. Welcome. Look. I'm not. I can't vote
Well, that doesn't stop non-citizens in America from voting. Why should it stop you? Just go there and tell them your name is Steve. They don't even ask for a driver's license. It's called a provisional ballot. That's all you got to say is give me the provisional.
Wait, are you being serious or just hyperbolic?
No, I'm being serious. That's the way elections work in America. You don't have to show ID, and you can say, just give me a provisional, and they'll say, yes, sir.
Did you ask him if he's being serious or serious?
My apologies, but I'm wearing headphones.
You could go to 30 polling stations and say, I don't want to give you my ID, give me a provisional. They'll say, yes, sir. And you can just vote as many times as you want. It's called election fraud.
I'm interested in attempting this purely academically because I do have access to the United States of America. Would this be federally illegal? Would I be charged if I were to simply go in, ask for a provisional, but not actually fill it out just to see if they would give it to me?
No, it's not illegal. If you cast the ballot.
If you fill it out wrongly,
You should do a Facebook Live, Twitter, or TikTok Live, not the Chinese ones.
I voted for Roseanne Barr against Barack Hussein Obama in California. She was the presidential candidate for the Green Party. And when I was there was a guy who was like, this is my first time voting. I am not a U.S. citizen. And they're like, come right in. We'll give you a provisional, sir. And he is like, thank you.
Yeah, Jared, you just have to wear that hat that you do and keep your head a little bit more close to your body. And when they give you provisional ballot, your head can pop out like a turtle.
Yo, no, but there's no way. I don't even know if this is gonna work because when you go there, they ask for they ask for the ID, they match your signature. Third, they it's a thorough check. You can't just fucking just show up and be like, I just want to vote. I don't know. You guys are speaking a bunch of nonsense here, man.
No, we're not presenting a conspiracy theory. You can go on YouTube or Google. It's called a provisional ballot. It is a thing, and they don't get used in the election unless there's a recount or mega lawsuits.
Every time I go there, they check my signature. That's on my fucking passport.
I know. I've worked as an election judge. It's all through Dominion voting systems tied into your state judicial database, and they match your name, your signature, address, and that's the way it works. And you can't vote unless you're at the right precinct and you are, you are who you say you are. I didn't detect any fraud in the system except the fact, this is strange, they claim that the Dominion voting system, or there's a name for it, the name of the product that they buy, it's on 4 wheels. They claim that their data is transmitted via satellite. But then you connect to your Wi-Fi, which is, my ballot, my polling place was at a school, so they connect to the school's Wi-Fi to transmit the results. Why do they say it's through a satellite? And apparently the results go to Germany, okay, because Soros is, he's German or Swiss or whatever the fuck he is. My point is, why our whole system is completely compromised from the top to the bottom, and I believe it 100% that there are no fair and honest elections, and that Kamala is essentially Barack Hussein Obama with a pussy, and she is a Trojan horse candidate, and she is essentially an agent of Skull and Bones. That's my opinion.
Yep. JR, PTR, I posted a picture of it.
If you love the future, if you love yourself, you should vote for who's right and who's the honest politician. That is Trump Kennedy. They are the only legitimate, people who will run this government. If there's another different government, it's totally illegitimate. If Kamala is the president and Waltz is vice president, totally illegitimate. I mean, I will not work for them. I will take, I'm finished. I will not work for them. I'm waiting for the election to just go back to work.
I'm just gonna take a rain check. I'm not gonna
No. This is what this is what. So, I'm gonna fly to Vegas to get married, to get my citizenship. So, about that.
Yeah. Okay. You do it, man. I'm already a citizen.
Bro, good luck. You think you're going to be able to get your voter registration ID in the system, that quickly? I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Naruto is smoking right now.
I was gonna suggest that to JR, but
I thought you were my guru, but like with the just I lost a guru. I have to find a different guru.
You don't need to find a guru. You have to be your own guru. Don't you get it? There are no gurus but you. You are the guru.
I guess. Oh, okay. Look, I was going to vote for Trump, but look, even if I vote for him, nothing is going to change. That's what I'm trying to say, man.
How do you know? Can you see the future? Who the fuck are you to say nothing?
No, okay, you have a Senate.
Greater than the president. What are you? What are you, the future reader?
The bill moves from Congress to the Senate and the president's desk. Okay, unless everything gets vetoed, in that case it would.
Look what happened when Biden came in. We immediately went to war all over the place.
And then the only way they can challenge that is through judicial branch.
Jay, are you just a complainer kind of guy?
Who do you think is more likely for World War III? Who do you think is more likely to do World War III?
It's mostly a permanent state than anything else.
Wait, JR, I got to interrupt you, because I get the feeling that you are depressed and you're a negative person. Can you actually just change the conversation on a dime, do a full 360, and tell us something positive about today right now? I challenge you to be positive.
Okay, why say
you can't do it. I've asked you several times.
Look. You guys care about me voting for Trump. I'm going to vote for Trump.
And I've even asked him to say anything about anything. He won't do it. He won't do it. So he wants to be American. He wants to through fighting Americans.
Hey, shut up.
He can make himself great again.
Look. I'm in Wisconsin. I'm one of the
Wisconsin.
And look, I mean, you guys are not doing a good job in selling your boyfriend. So you guys have to do a better
How's Wisconsin?
Wisconsin. Yeah, okay, man. You can make fun of my accent. I don't have a problem.
man, it's better than Pennsylvania.
Look, you're fucking.
Pennsylvania. No, it's Pennsylvania.
Every time you speak, you sound like you're fucking speaking Madrasi, fucking Tamil. Some Tamil who's studying and bullshit. So.
Wait, what is shitting at
Can you say Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. You always switch the E and the W. You can say both, but you switch them. Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, West Virginia.
Okay, come on. Go to your accent elimination class.
You want to go to West Virginia? Say West Virginia.
JR, that's not a good thing.
I want to see Indiana. I like Indiana.
Change all the B's to W. Just change all the B's to W. West Virginia.
It's trending right now. Look at all the CEOs are all even, and it's working.
Not for Starbucks, not anymore. Starbucks CEO wasn't. Now the CEO is flying in. Work from home.
You get fucked over if you don't speak English right.
The $3 trillion control by Indian accent guy is awesome.
JR, again, it's a beautiful Sunday. It's like 90 degrees and sunny here, and listening to you is like having cancer on my penis. So I just want to know, are you capable of saying anything positive at all? Like the sky is blue and flowers smell great and women are pretty?
I'm voting for Trump.
Let's say something positive.
Isn't this positive? That's not voting for Trump.
You know what, just tell us the status of your HIV test. If that's positive, that's more of a positive than voting for Trump. It's positive.
What a disgusting guy this guy is.
That was the joke, man. Anti-Trump joke, not a JR message.
Say, make America healthy again.
I mean, did you even watch the Kennedy speech? It's 30 minutes to 40 minutes long. It's incredible. The three takeaways are: we have to stop the forever wars, we have to stop the vaccination of our population and the murdering of our population through the biopharmaceutical industrial complex, and third, we have to stop the censorship. And if we can stop those three things, America can continue to prosper and liberate and succeed. If we continue these forever wars and the vaccination of our population through more pandemics, scamdemics, and the censorship, I mean, X is the only platform. Meta and Google and Apple are completely, absolutely dedicated to censoring thought and speech and any kind of critical analysis of vaccines and war, particularly vaccines, medical misinformation. We're living in a big brother state. If you vote for Kamala and Waltz, you're voting for communism. You are an idiot. You're a low IQ person if you vote for Kamala and Waltz. It's a fact.
I love Trump.
You should just love yourself, and let Trump love himself. If you love a man, that means you're a faggot. I don't think you really know what you're saying half the time, and thus, you're gay.
Adrian, why don't you have a job? Like, why are you unemployed?
I do have a job, but I don't want to continue to work for a guy who has Alzheimer's, and I'm not going to work for some stupid bitch and communist or two communists. I'm quitting if they win the election.
Adrian, just moved to Canada, man.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Things are gravy here. I want things to stay gravy here. That's why I'm voting for Trump Kennedy.
There's no Trump Kennedy, man. There's only Trump.
No, Kennedy's in the administration. That's just as good as being a vice president. He's going to lead up the CIA. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Isn't Musk also part of the administration?
Yeah, he says he wants to be on an executive government pricing board, meaning that he wants to analyze all the waste and mismanagement and fraud in the system. See, if you guys aren't actually paying attention and you just listen to JR ramble, vote Trump and go to the gym, fatties.
I'm in tune with what's going on to some degree. So, I don't come here to listen to Jerry ramble. He rambles on his own.
How is this rambling? I mean, like I said, I'm very clear here. I'll vote for Trump. Okay, I gave you guys a solution on AI governance. That's B. I said the kill switch is on the hardware level. Okay, so what's wrong with that? I mean, I gave so many good solutions here. Like, I don't understand. What is it that I said was negative here? I mean,
We're challenging you to say something positive. That means force the positivity. Come on, what you're saying is just generalizations of common sense for politics.
You even explored on why do we have 7 days, and then I tied that 7 days to Hindu spirituality, and then I was able to make the connection from Sunday to Saturday. Sunday, which is Surya Dev's day, which is sun god. And then we had a really good discussion here. And how is this negative? I don't understand.
Because we're not talking, JR, we're not talking about what you're talking about. We're talking about that we want you to turn on a dime, go 360, say something new, something randomly positive.
Yeah, you are on your way, but you have a long way to go. You're not a guru.
Okay, Guruji. Listen, I guess my work here is complete. You're incapable of actually being an entertainer. You're a schmuck and a faggot.
Okay, alright. Go in your rooms.
Okay, I'm done here. My work here is complete, gentlemen. Hope you guys all have a great Sunday.
Thank you for trolling us.
You're welcome.
Will your boyfriend just
Wait, Adrian, you live in France?
No, I live in Uranus.
Oh, so that's Louisiana.
That was some former nation state, but obviously Europeans weren't having it. That's why it really didn't become what it became, right? So just say that, and then I'll say this, post World War II, there was a lot of people that adopted, right, and internalized Pan-Africanism. Different forms of it, usually American.
Anyways, let me hear more miracles about the Bible.
Don't you think they would have found that interesting enough to include?
Shrouds?
The shroud with the image on it, dude. Yeah, they found it fresh, and then they preserved it until now, right? So, like, they found it interesting. Why wasn't it written up?
They might not have noticed it. I mean, they were, well,
They just didn't even notice.
Guys, I do not interrupt her.
Go ahead, Mike.
She's just gonna say they might not have noticed it. That's just
I'm not saying it's not proof that it didn't exist that because it's not in the Bible.
Right? They left now. Everyone, my family, they all drove back. My sisters, my cousins, my brother, all of them, they drove back now. Less than 2.5 hours after they left, there was a suicide bombing. In Lido Beach, the same beach that they were at. Can you fucking imagine? That shit. Yo, I was shaking. You guys, when I tell you I was shaking, I've never been that fucking scared in my life. I was shaking. I said, where's my family? Where's my family? I started pulling all
Yo, that type of stuff has happened.
I nearly had a heart attack.
Like,
Son,
where
what I told
death
you
narrowly misses you is creepy.
Oh God, Lord.
Our Lord would tell us.
Son, I shit you not. I nearly had a heart attack. You know that. I never thought I could have a heart attack at this age. I nearly fainted. I said, what?
Okay, so you believe that a man walked on water, resurrected, and what facts do you have of that?
Facts?
Yeah, like what facts? Like, can you show me right now that a man could walk on water, and that a man could resurrect right now?
Yo, Travis, it's called a metaphor. Maybe you should learn what metaphor means, or simile.
I believe that miracles have happened next to our current age.
I mean, why do you think they call Luke Skywalker in Star Wars? It's called a metaphor or a simile.
I'm here.
Hold on, Jared, hold on. If you, all right. Okay, I want you to prove to me right now that someone can actually resurrect, right? And that somebody can actually create water out of wine. No. Because if you said it,
Prove it right now.
right, you have to be able to
A
prove it.
sinful and wicked generation shall ask for signs from above.
Right now.
I don't think. Okay. Can you show me that you exist right now?
Kamala Obama, immigrant and mulattoes, the good blacks. This is the funniest shit ever.
The 1700s, and y'all are talking about post-World War II, Cold War area, Cold War era.
Y'all been doing what in the 1700s, bro? Doing
the
what?
Pan-Africanism, bro.
Y'all was not on that in the 1700s. Stop
yes,
it,
we
bro.
were,
Fuck y'all said y'all was fighting white man's war.
Man, be here now. Stop with the history hypnosis. Vote Trump and go to the gym fatties. Kamala and Walsh are communist terrorists. Vote Trump.
What the fuck is that?
Who the fuck is that?
Can you not see that there are people in the room?
No.
How?
Why are you asking me a question when you're supposed to be proving it?
So I just.
I could love you with my eyes closed.
I want to make my move. I'm thinking of moving to India.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. So we're in what, 20 minutes.
How are you going to move to India when you haven't even started doing yoga in Toronto?
Wait, hang on. Shut up, Adrian. We're talking to.
Do you see my point? Is be here now. It's like you're in India now. You mother chod, you are the fake guru. You mother chod. Daddy money boss banchod.
it's not about cursing in like the month or so, but
Yeah, what's going to happen next 20 years?
20 years.
I really think it's a good thing we're not married. I don't know, people who are married with like kids and all. It really sucks for these people. But yeah, go.
Yeah, so the golden age is in 2048, 2049. So until then, there's going to be the depopulation agenda is going to kick in, and their target is 95%.
There's no depopulation thing happening.
Well, I'm just saying from a prediction point of view, there's a depopulation
It's not
agenda.
happening. It's not happening.
And they will try to enforce that, and
they're not going to enforce it. What's going to actually happen, Narottama, is there's going to be a genocide against people who support their political agenda, and that's what we should unite.
And so I think they'll get to 75%, and then 25% of people.
The West is known for genociding, and now that we're part of a global community, they're just going to rebrand this genocide as World War III, but that's really what's going to happen.
So as I was saying, their target is 95%.
Narasimha is gonna get angry.
Wait, hang on. Let him go and then he can go, man. Like, if you're gonna interrupt, going to be able to listen to what he's trying to say.
So
Okay, yeah, go.
So their agenda is 95% population to be genocided, and they will. Looks like there'll be resistance definitely. 25% of the population will remain. And then there'll be the onset of a golden age, 10,000 years.
No, but what is the timeline here? 2048?
2048, 2049 is the prediction.
No, that's when it will start, right? Hang on, man. I'm just trying to get a date here. So 2049 it will start, 2048. But at least we have time until 2048.
You're not gonna be alive.
No, but I guess what I'm trying.
That diabetic blood is not gonna survive.
I'm not diabetic, man.
Yeah, that's what Ethel said.
Ethel, he's fucking, he's stupid. That guy is an idiot. I'll tell you one thing.
I trust him over.
No, I mean.
People will be running to the forest because they might, I heard something about a flood in Edgar Casey or something like that.
Wait, a flood?
Yeah, like a worldwide flood, and Edgar Casey saying.
Yeah, he's retarded.
Wait, 2048. No, I'm still not understanding. Okay. 2048 is when golden age will start, but I think the depopulation process will start from. It's already began. It's that.
Yeah. Well, you have the coinciding of Nostradamus' 27-year war prediction, which is basically World War III, which are basically already in. If you take the dates of 2019, when the pandemic started, and add 26 years, you would get about 2847. Something like that. So, 2046. So if you add 27 years to 2019, you get 2046.
But who will survive? You think the 25% population? What kind of people are they going to be handpicked? Is it like a divine intervention, or what is it like a?
Yeah, that's part of it, but it's also people that are practically prepared.
Only pious people will survive. Is that? Am I hearing this right?
Well, that's not 100%. No. It's people that are practically prepared. It's not necessarily the only pious will survive, right? That is a factor when it comes to the divine play, but it's not the only factor. I mean, how do you know someone is pious? I mean, are we the judge, right? No. We're not the judge. So.
We are the judge.
Says it?
Says your frontal cortex.
We're the judge for the limited amount of free will that we all.
Doesn't matter. Whatever will you have, that's all where it is. But why would you Why would you posit the existence of something that you don't even have access to just to gaslight?
What do you mean?
Why don't you stick to what you know and what you can know and let the rest kind of play it out? Why interject something that you have no access to and no interference of to gaslight any form of knowing?
What are you trying to talk about? What are you talking about?
I gave an answer. I gave an answer. Who's to judge? I said your frontal cortex. You said there's more than that.
Yes.
And I'm saying you have no evidence. You have nothing to say beyond that. And you're just positing something that's invisible.
Stop talking.
It's just rhetorical. We are to judge. We will judge. It's our duty to judge.
We're limited in our judgment capabilities.
No, we're not. We are all judged.
Nope. If you deny the existence of Krishna, you're basically an atheist.
Why would you need a secondary being that is separate from you called Krishna?
What do you mean? Why do we need?
Krishna is your frontal cortex.
I don't know. What's the point of studying Sanskrit if you don't even?
Because the Sanskrit is something that's created by the frontal cortex.
There's a lot of scriptures in Sanskrit.
They're all produced by the frontal cortex.
Okay, who wrote those?
Every single thing.
Who wrote the Vedas?
The frontal cortex.
No, the person.
The frontal cortex.
What's the name of the person that wrote the Vedas?
Even the name itself means a function of the frontal cortex.
And that person's identity is who?
Say your question again. Who wrote the Puranas and Itihas?
Vyas wrote it.
I thought he was trying to do a trick question.
Oh yeah, of course, because
No one wrote anything. It's all oral tradition.
Yeah, it's like Anup doesn't exist. It's just a frontal.
It's only the frontal cortex. That's actually true. What you said, JR, it's called your insular region. There's a network that connects the insula with regions of your frontal, which create your sense of self. So yes, you only exist because of that frontal cortex.
Well, what's the difference between you and
the RoboCop? This is the RoboCop analogy, you know? Destroy the body, give a...
no, we don't destroy the body. We embody the body.
No, I know. But in the sense of sinister academian trying to create a, RoboCop.
We don't need to create RoboCops. Nature already creates us. We don't need to create something separate than us.
Nature?
We are what we are.
Nature? Who created nature?
The prefrontal cortex.
Oh, the prefrontal cortex created nature?
Yes.
Oh, I see. And how does that work?
Your sense of otherness and your sense of self, that is creating these categories. That's your prefrontal cortex.
So, you can create your own nature then?
Exactly, but you doesn't mean you're going to survive.
Okay, why don't you give it
That's why we have dysfunctions and disorders. So if your nature is not aligned with your body, your nature is going to die.
You're getting your PhD, is it?
No, I'm getting my my eyelid.
Okay. Well.
Or you like that one?
Yeah, a lot of new
stuff. Just a wrong student, man. I think ultimately you should go back to changing tires or something.
No, why posit something and say, oh, we can't, who's to judge? We are to judge. How fucking dare?
I'm saying we're limited in our judgment.
No, full judgment, all judgment.
No. I say we're limited.
How do you know what Krishna has to say?
How do you say what Krishna doesn't have to say?
Because we are Krishna. Got him. Yeah.
I would just say when you hear somebody laugh when you declare that we are Krishna, that's hitting the nail on the head. That's how you know that that's the truth. Because when you laugh, that's an indication that that's the Tao, or essentially the way, or we laugh at these things because it's like looking at yourself in the mirror and like realizing that you're an ugly monkey creature.
In honor of ugly monkey creatures, I want to change my PTR and welcome Olga to the room.
What?
What's up, Olga?
That was so fucking racist. That was so fucking racist.
Sounded racist. You made mention.
It was. It absolutely was. Do you have a problem? I'm allowed to do whatever I want. I thought we were free.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're self-hating. What do you think you're part of the kingdom?
You are myself. You're my frontal cortex. I'm literally doing self-hate.
You're a white monkey. You're a white monkey. Hello?
He agrees. And JR is one.
All of you are my frontal.
Just because you're a little bit lighter doesn't mean you're not a monkey.
Olga.
Okay.
We're not gonna ask you to swim. Don't worry.
Why would you put my picture in front of me? Like, why would you do that?
You have told she's claiming
I get it, I'm
to be this one.
That's messed up.
I'm not claiming. That is me. Let it be, bro.
It's not her, but he wants to be.
That's crazy.
It's me. It's me. I'm beautiful.
Beautiful on the
Get
inside.
it. Beautiful black woman. Let it be. I get it. I get it.
We're not free from the vortex.
So when someone laughs at something like that profoundly, Adrian says that they know that they're a monkey creature and they're laughing in a sense at themselves. I call it the demon coming out. I feel that it's just that they have also grief reactions and they'll start screaming.
Excuse me.
Is that Malcolm? Hello? Goddamn, Malcolm. You get a lot of talk time with them Jews. I modded you in that room yesterday because I was ready to leave and I know you destroy it. Sure you did.
Bro, that shit broke my heart, bro, when I realized who modded me. I'm like, how the fuck did I get a mod? And I'm thinking, okay, perhaps the dude on the stage is like, a fan of mine. I've definitely made a few enemies on the app, and long story short, he ended up shooting me on the stage once he realized who I was. But yeah, I appreciate you, John. What you call it? Next time you get a green bean, give me one.
Yeah, I wouldn't give it to you until. Well, I mean, I wanted to destroy the room. That's why I gave you the hand grenade.
Oh yeah, I want to destroy his rooms myself. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't know he bared that much animosity towards me, but yeah, that's.
I was with him in Miami, and he was wearing a Philadelphia Eagles starter jacket, and he was wearing sunglasses and an Eagles baseball cap. And I never saw so many black people. Like, I saw all these black people just like sitting there, hanging out or working or whatever. And man, they were saying, "You mother!" Like they wanted to kill him. I was like, "Holy!" And he wouldn't even look at them. I'm not kidding. He didn't look at them. He didn't say nothing. He's just walking, and this guy, out of just people looking at him, black people were like, "I fucking want to kill you. I'll kill you." I was like, "What the?" It was the starters. It was the Philadelphia Eagles. It wasn't him. It wasn't him. It was what he was wearing, which pissed these people off. I assume they were there on vacation. Who knows? I mean, a lot of people fly into Miami in December.
Yeah, that's why you gotta tap in with the locals. Learn about their little cultural nuances and whatnot. Cause the shit that can set somebody off in New York, won't set somebody off in LA and vice versa. Like in LA, like they're primitive, pretty much.
I live in Chicago, and there's a lot of Polish people here, and I told a Polish joke one time, and that really pissed people off. I was like, what the fuck? I thought everybody likes making fun of the Polish, even the Polish. No. They're very sensitive about it. They get really pissed. I said, the joke is, how did the Nazis conquer Poland so quickly? They marched in backwards, and the Polacks thought they were leaving. Man, this guy wanted to fight me. I was like, whoa. I was like, it's a joke, sir. I'm really sorry. He wanted to fight me.
Man, I know it is different too, because the joke was actually funny. So like, now you really would.
Polish people can be extremists because they're basically like Christian extremists to a very high degree. They're taking their shit very seriously now because they're the only country in Europe that hasn't been colonized by Muslim migrants.
I thought Hungary was another one.
Hungary too, yeah.
What you call it?
There's probably more.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what it is. Actually, I do know what it is. But it is what it is.
For real, like, this global trend of anti-Islamic sentiment is real intriguing. Very intriguing.
Well, I'm looking at a video right now of Muslim migrants running out of a hotel, chasing down another migrant with knives to kill him. So, like, this is the problem with the big cities now, is the streets are like inundated with, low-level criminals. And so basically, like, you got to just go from a secure parking garage to another secure parking garage. And even then, you got to make sure it's a real secure parking garage. What I'm saying is, like, the movie Escape from New York is like becoming reality. And, the only guy that ever punched me out was a black guy. And I didn't see it coming. I was being so nice. I'd let him take a rip on my joint. I was at a bar being, trying to give people good information. Man, they fucking robbed me and beat the living shit out of me, and, but I'm a nice person. Yeah, I'm a nice person. So like when I was in the bar, I was saying hello to people at the bar. And because I had introduced myself to people at that event, luckily one of the guys in the bar saw me getting my head smashed in, and he jumped on top of me in a fighting position, and then that gave me the ability to get up, grab my shoe, and fucking run. But, I learned my lesson, but they could have killed me. They really could have killed me. And I had to spend a night in ER. But he said to me, he's like, sir, you dropped something. I turned around and he just fucking smashed me right in the face as hard as he could.
What though?
They wanted to rob me. I guess I had it coming. I was drunk and stoned, but I had all this fake $100 bills. And I had stamped on it like vote Trump or something. This was in 2000, what? When was it? I don't remember. Anyways, I was passing out fake money and telling everybody to vote Trump. so I guess, I'm just joking around, but I think they thought I had money on me or something. So they were like, oh, this is the target. And so I totally fucked up by even talking to them,
So you had like what, movie money?
Yeah, Amazon movie production money, exactly.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I had a similar situation, but that's wild, bro. That's wild. There's definitely a lot of low-level criminals out here. I wouldn't call that low-level though in America. You commit a robbery, you're under the jail, especially if you go to trial. Oh my God, shit. I thought don't even matter, but in any case, yeah, we gotta do what we can to preserve the cultural integrity of America, and I think that that language is how a lot of folks are venting their xenophobia, because I do believe in cultural integrity, right? I do believe in the preservation of the people by just monitoring what influences are allowed to expand, So when you got a criminal population, right, as all countries do, you must contain the criminal population. And containment, it could look like a jail cell, it could look like death, or a ticket, But containment nonetheless has to happen. Those individuals, though, they was just opportunists type shit.
I'm not even going to condemn them, to be honest with you, because I don't know. Circumstances are different for everyone. Who knows? Maybe.
Dude, you could be walking to the train and somebody could come up behind you and knife you. Like, it happens. Random murders, random robberies happen. But that's because cities are not vigilant in policing a homeless criminal population, which has nothing. I mean, give them economic opportunity, give them a job. A lot of people don't want to work, and they're just hardcore alcoholics, and they do not want to work, and they will not work, and they can't work. They're basically disabled. So, we live in a dog-eat-dog world. You have no choice but to be vigilant and know that there's, like that black star's just roaming out there, wrong place, wrong time, and if you got the money to drive, you drive. Otherwise, public transportation always opens you up to the possibility of encountering an intoxicated robber. Most people don't commit crime unless they're fucked up. Like they're already getting there. It's hard to just like be a criminal, like a professional criminal, like a sober criminal. It's difficult to be a sober criminal.
Oh, bro. I'm with you on that.
But see,
I think cultural upbringing matters.
This is the thing about people. This is the thing about people who commit street level crimes. They're incapable of doing internet crimes. If you knew how to scam online, you wouldn't be robbing people in the streets. That's far too dangerous. So it's an intelligence problem, and they have no education, and they're fucked. That's why they're doing what they're doing, and it's basically survival. Like, crime goes up before the winter in Chicago because people start gathering materials to survive the winter, just in the same way that a bear goes out and starts collecting carcasses that he can munch on throughout the winter or something like that. It's psychology.
Nah, for sure. What you call it? I agree with you. You know what I'm saying? My introduction, for instance, to criminality was pretty innocent.
No, I know. You told me you're on the street selling Gucci flip flops.
Yeah, that's a fact, and I was making money. But nonetheless, you said something, and low key just left my head. Fuck.
What? That the street level criminal's not capable of doing internet crime because they're not smart enough?
Right. There's a time when I came to that realization. Like, what the fuck am I doing? When I was a kid, I used to rob other kids for little basic goods and shit. Even adults, honestly. I fought for 7 or 14 years of my life in court over robbing an adult who went to Brooklyn College at the age of 16. And when I really had to sit with that risk, hold on, 7 years to 14 for what? Right? Then it just make you think twice. Hold on, is the risk really worth the reward? And that's when folks discover things like fraud, and it's just alright, I'm not looking back. Why the fuck would I ever?
Yeah, it's just not worth it. Like, my dad was a cop for 30 years. One time, because he busted so many people, he looked at me once, he said, John, if you ever decide to become a criminal, he goes, go big, because it's not worth it. Meaning that you're going to get hammed up and you're going to get imprisoned for low-level shit. But what's the risk to reward? It's just not there. And so that means that they're, it's all hindsight, but they're too stupid to know that the risk to reward ratio is so fucking not in their favor that what they're doing is the epitome of stupidity, desperation, lack of faith. They have no faith, they have no faith that they can turn things around by being truthful. So that's in stoicism.
Patience is definitely another quality required. Because a lot of you I used to, weigh things on a scale mentally. Just as a kid, what I was doing. And I came to the conclusion, hey, this doesn't really seem worth it. But I never got caught for so long.
like for so long I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And you know, it just
Everything, it takes a while for shit to bubble up. What you did in the past, I just got a notification telling me that my driver's license is going to be suspended because of a speeding ticket in Utah. So these states cross communicate, and there's no evading the law. If you go to another state, they communicate. There's you're fucked. Like what you did in the past will come back eventually because the states communicate.
that's a fact. That's a fact. But yeah, I definitely didn't have the patience for what I wanted. I wanted it now, right? And you know, my values, they made me feel as though there was a void. That void was definitely artificially created. But I felt there was a void. And as a result of that feeling, you know, I went out and tried to make a difference. You know, tried to keep up with the folks that I felt I was trailing behind a bit. Because my mother, no bullshit, she would buy one sneaker. She was legendary for this. One sneaker before the start of the school year. And tell me, like, yeah, you better not ask me for shit until the, you know, start of the next school year. Now, she wasn't sincere about this. Because, you know, sometime in between the school years, she'd probably buy me maybe another sneaker, or whatever the case may be. But, like, for the most part, I was like, it's just a preset condition in my head, like, yeah, you know not to ask. Like, it's just, she doesn't have it, kind of thing. So, you know, you go to school, you're a kid, you don't know fact from fiction. It's just like, this is what matters. I don't pay bills, we're kids. It's about being cool. Who's the coolest? Well, he has all the cool stuff, you know. He gets the girls, you know, and let you not have the sort of familial structure that, like, could just make you hit to the times. My sister, for instance, like my mother, she's from Haiti. You know, they're not wearing weave out there, acrylic nails. Certain grooming that just isn't or wasn't common culture when my mother was coming up in Haiti. So my sister, you know, of course, is not gonna adopt this knowledge or inherit this knowledge from my mother. You know, she's a young black girl coming up or whatever the case may be. And for women, it's especially hard. Because she goes to school and she's noticing, like, hold on. Like, this one has on a $200 weave down on her back and her legs. And this one has on Ugg boots. And this one has this and this one has that. And we just kind of look back at our home and be like, whoa, there's a big, huge difference. So that just led to pressure internally. Like, I wasn't estranged from the notion of just taking a risk. Because everybody in my environment was taking risks, you know? So I was definitely sober. And I was just like, nah, fuck that. We gotta take risks, homie. We can't just be out here fucked up. I didn't have the patience because I didn't see the picture. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I feel like the way life is set up, right? If you look at, for instance, the food chain, I feel like chaos is inherently built into the structure of order. Okay? Because, you know, we consider murder in a sense like a bad thing, but murder helps us survive every day type shit. Like the cycle of life that is a built-in destruction, it you know, naturally entertains bad actors. Or so I see criminals as a necessary evil. But I hope the country does what it can to, you know, contain some more problematic criminals. Drug addicts and shit, you know, that's another story. But like, if you were just out here on some different shit, like rapists, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you simple robber. But if you like a shoplifter or like a crackhead trying to get high, they gotta figure that one out. Hey, yo, but hey, can you out of here? I just was chatting just now. That's what just happened. Man.
Okay, it's called Breathe.
Preach, girl,
Yeah,
preach!
beta men, and gay men as well. We have the same sort of qualities, I think, sometimes. Just saying. The claws and the skinhead.
Yeah, the gays get vicious.
There's a it says, if women ruled the world, there would be no war. Just a bunch of countries not talking to each other.
Lots of hair pooled across the ocean.
Just passive aggressive bombs being fired back and forth between the countries, you know.
Do you want to say something? Because I wanted to talk about my podcast. Oh, alright. Yeah, yo, you guys missed it. If you weren't there last night, I helped X Spaces. We had thousands of people tune in. We had like 700 people live when it actually crashed. So the technology wasn't able to sustain that many people for one time, I guess. I don't think it more than enough. I'm not sure what exactly happened there, but it crashed. It was excellent. I mean, we had people from the RFK campaign, people from the Trump campaign meeting each other for the first time. It was really cool. You know, everybody wanted to work with one another. We got a lot of great support. And did you want to say anything?
If you ever watched Braveheart, it was like the scene when they're like, unite the clan! Unite us!
Yeah.
Your wife's not amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, and then we had my boy here, Adrian Dittman, come up, and he was like, "You're a Jew hater," to my friend. So I had to remove him from stage. So I'm sorry I had to remove you from stage, but.
Oh, that's okay. It's worth it. I do not like that woman, that former banker from Goldman Sachs.
Oh, I'm the worst son.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, Goldman Sachs, life is not good enough.
Yeah, it's okay.
Augustus, did you hear that the CEO or CFO of Telegram was arrested in France? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I've been snapping about that actually because, you know, it's like today it's gonna be the Telegram guy. Tomorrow it's gonna be Elon Musk. The next day it's gonna be RFK Jr. and the next day it's gonna be Trump. And they're just gonna put us all in fucking jail.
Don't go to France.
Yeah, don't go to France.
Or Europe. Europe in general right now is not looking safe. But
keep away. I would advise you to never come near here. We've got a proper sort of issue going on. So stay where you are in America.
Yeah.
Only
We're
for
gonna
now.
take America back. I mean, like, honestly, my feelings of it all, like, considering you guys didn't hear my X-Space last night, I'll just tell you some things I said last night, which was like, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, when RFK Jr. came out to that song, there goes my hero, watch him as he goes, and then knowing that, you know, Trump picked that song, handpicked that song for RFK Jr. to walk out to, and that's how he feels about RFK Jr. Like, it gave me goosebumps. Like, every time I've listened to RFK Jr. speak in person, it's given me, like, physical goosebumps, heart racing, you know, tears watering in my eyes, like, feeling physically moved emotionally by the power of his words. And, you know, by the end of his speeches, I feel like amped up, like a battery was put in my back, like we're about to go storm the castle, like we're about to hop over the wall and create a revolution here in the United States, like nothing we've ever seen before, and it gets me really amped up.
And then last night, or the other night, when he did the same exact thing, you know, in front of all those people, you know, I know what they felt like, because they all stood up and they roared. They roared a lion's roar, you know, many times throughout his speech, which shows me that everybody here is ready for a revolution. Everybody here is ready to take back the castle and hop over that wall, and it's revolution time. And honestly, bro, like, it made me feel like in that moment, like, holy shit, we just saved America. We just saved America.
You need to get elected in. That's the next. Because Kamala is not going to be really in charge of changing anything for the rest of the shit. Did he have a tear in his eye when he did that speech? I thought he did, and I thought that was just. I was actually really moved by him. I thought he had just really annoying accent, but he actually was really moved.
Was that on a teleprompter or was that just his spoken word? Because I couldn't tell, and I felt like it was just his off the cuff spoken word.
Nah, like what we do with RFK Jr. Is basically we have some excellent speechwriters that collaborate with him on his ideas and and then inform him of the zeitgeist, and they create like like basically like a storyboard for him to kind of play off of, so he can improvise where he sees fit, and it comes off much more natural that way.
It certainly came off naturally and sincerely.
Yeah, my girl's brother wrote one of his speeches.
It's amazing when you hear a stream of thought for 40 minutes, which is basically a transcript, or it's like a clown house room with really great information where people aren't fighting. I mean, that speech to me was like earth shattering. I mean, it destroyed the false narrative to such a degree, but then you talk to people who still have Kennedy derangement syndrome or Trump derangement syndrome, and you're like, you just don't listen, do you? You really just ignore it all. They just block it out.
Yeah, in my experience, I have that same derangement syndrome when I talk to people about it, and the through line is always that they are not listening to the context. They're not listening to full speeches. They're literally just digesting headlines and stuff. But I just want to come up and say congratulations to you, Justice, on your work on the and everything. And I will tell you this. I just want to give one takeaway from him being on stage, because it was definitely monumental. But I could also see like the conflict in the guy too, and I think if you're like us and you listen to both speeches, I think it's very interesting the framing that RFK put forth about the team of rivals, and then also just the idea that there are a lot of things that they definitely don't agree on, and you could see that. I could see that. I'm not gonna say you, but I could see that it was palpable to me that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. standing on that stage to that roar with Donald Trump, I could see that there was some conflict in him there, and
yeah, but the conflict is healthy.
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point. Is like we have to have some courage in life, and the dude is nothing if he isn't courageous, and we have to have some courage to be able to like let down our guard and kind of come across the aisle from each other in terms of our beliefs and values and stuff. And we saw that like literally play out on that stage with him, and it was really fascinating. And
the bridge without dropping the walls.
Yo, it's not funny, Eric. Like, me and my girl both like run shit behind the scenes on the campaign, and I keep on walking into the room, and I'm like, hey, we saved America. So that's bro, that's really how we feel. We feel like we saved America, bro. It's like that simple, you know. I see your comment, like, why didn't he take the VP position that was offered to him? And it's because it was a part of the strategy. You know, he's going to be much more effective. He's going to be much more effective somewhere else in the administration. And not to mention the effectiveness is strategic now for him to follow through to the end and have this alliance where he's you know, basically telling all of his supporters in swing states to vote for Trump and to pull votes away from Kamala in other states, in all of the blue states. So him staying in the right, like he didn't drop out. He suspended his campaigning and is going to stay into the end and encourages all of his voters to do the strategic alliance strategy in order to basically defeat the DNC. So if he
Did
would
you
have
spend
taken
the
the
$10
VP
to
position,
see
we
Kamala's
wouldn't
chocolate
be able to pull
milkshakes?
off what we're about to
Jedi
pull off,
Trey
which
vote
is
Trump and
take
announce the
America
dark
back,
side. Luke,
save
former
America,
Skywalker.
make America
May the
great
force
again,
of your
make
lies
America
destroy
healthy
the hate.
again. Trump 2024. Let's fucking go.
What you're trying to say is that you think that, that he had like taken the vice president
Spent the $10 to see Kamala's chocolate
people would
milkshakes.
have perceived that as though
Jedi
like
Trey vote
he
Trump
is
and
somehow
announce the
like
dark side.
fallen
Luke,
till
former Skywalker. May the force of your lies
Trumpster
destroy your
ideology,
hate.
whereas like
No, I'm not saying that.
The VP is a useless position other than being a tyrant or once in a blue moon. I mean, really, it's just a.
What I was trying to explain wasn't necessarily like the perception of him being tainted. It's all about numbers. Okay, so he wouldn't do as well in the polls if he were to be the VP, right? Trump wouldn't be doing as well in the polls if he were to be doing as the VP. He's going to be even better now in the polls now that RFK Jr. is going to stay in the race and have the 5% of voters that were going to vote for him basically vote against Kamala in blue states and for Trump in swing states.
I can't see that actually, Augustus. Could you explain it?
So there's swing states, right, that mean basically how the election is determined typically. So what he did was he pulled his name off of the ballot in those states, so you can't vote for Kennedy in the swing states. And he's saying to everybody who would have voted Kennedy, go vote Trump in those states. In the blue states, which are the Kamala Harris states, he's saying vote for either me or Trump, but vote against Kamala Harris in these blue states.
Oh, I see. I get it. So
It's like
Augusta, I was in your X space last night. I couldn't really talk, and Trump That's exactly what I was going to bring up. Is I saw this phenomenon on Twitter yesterday.
Yo, I just want to say real quick, thanks for coming to my space, man. And go ahead, Herb.
Yeah, nice, Mayor. I mean, I'm glad you brought that up because I was just like chomping at the bit to say it, and Miracle says exactly what I was going to comment on, which is like I saw people on Twitter saying, hey, look, I was going to vote for Trump, but since my state's going to go this way anyway, I'm going to give my vote to RFK. Like, to get him over the 5%. And that's what I thought, like, that's the thing, like, a lot of people I saw in the campaign were very upset when they didn't know what was going to happen. They were hearing rumors that he was going to go over to Trump, and a lot of people really believed in this kind of, you know, what they ran on, which is, like, getting away and creating a new independent governing body. And so what can happen now is they can still get the 5%, but that'll be an interesting like fence to walk. I'm kind of curious how the campaign is gonna. Are they just abandoning trying to get the 5%, or what's going on there?
We're abandoning trying to get the 5%. For people left in the campaign now, people who were high advisor roles and organizational roles within the campaign have basically, you know, they went to sleep one night and woke up the next morning as Judas. You know, they somehow transformed in the middle of the night, and they become betrayers. And what do you mean? I basically mean that there's people within RFK Jr.'s campaign that have disavowed him and said, hey, we're not going to go with this plan. We want to continue on with this independent movement and follow us if you want to. And
But Augustus, can't both happen? I mean, I met an individual who's really strongly created the platform from which someone like RFK would have a better chance of winning, maybe in a couple elections, as they build, you know, as they build out the independent party platform. Can't both happen? can't we
No.
be supporting Kennedy and know that we're wanting it more than 20 parties? How about that?
No, you can't. No, you can't. The numbers don't add up. So you need to have 5% for Kennedy.
Well, I'm not meaning for this election. I'm saying, like, right now, of course, I'm going to follow Total Lies for the way to vote against Kamala, but I mean for the future.
870.
Right.
Well, could Kennedy get 5% in this race? For the numbers don't matter.
The numbers don't add up.
So I want to give you 30 seconds.
Yeah, my whole point though was just that, you know, some people have become Brutus, some people have become Brutus, and me, I'm loyal to the foil. You know, I'm here for the Jews. We're the tip of the spear. This is preservation of the human race. Together, our Kennedy just saved America.
Augustus, what
We did it. I was there.
So,
What'd you say, Horatio?
is Tulsi going to have anything to do with it? Because I love her.
Yeah, Tulsi's gonna get in on it. Vivek's gonna get in on it. Elon's in on it. RFK's in on it.
Well, I mean, Tulsi's been showing her support for a while now, and like I haven't heard Trump like recognize the support that she's been getting. Well, I know Tulsi. She's a powerhouse, man. She's a powerhouse.
Right now, she's really going through it, guys. Like, the Biden administration basically has launched a false narrative to create an investigation that she on Tulsi through the TSA, and the TSA's been on her fucking ass investigating her, basically for terrorism, for domestic terrorism.
Well, they hate it, don't they? She's far too good looking and far too talented to be anywhere near them. They're jealous to the fucking vaccine.
Every time she flies, from my understanding, is they put two marshals on the plane. So are you saying that there's going to be, like, because I saw some memes that kind of talk about all the people you just brought up, Augustus, and like, they kind of pie in the sky, but is that what the coalition is talking about?
Yeah, but you know what's crazier? Is that RFK Jr. just dropped a cryptic message saying that you think that this is crazy, just wait until you see who comes on board next.
I believe it. I believe that Trump's got like 3 more rabbits in the hat at least.
Yeah, this is next. It's just, I'm just going to the screen. I mean,